everything is just really falling into place, isn't it?
Hey, what are you doing with this ring? I paid for this whore.
Yeah, I'm pretty fucked up.
America, now is the time.
I'm having a conniption right now over this.
The devil. I can't get enough of the devil.
Well, I guess we're fighting now.
What me think I deal with now? Get him out! Get him out! Move a guan! Pon the boat, pon the shore! Pon the boat, pon the shore!
This episode should be called The Reason Michael Doesn't Do Movies.
Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network. You're listening to Gas Digital Best of the Week.
Welcome to Gas Me Anything, where you, the live viewer, get to ask all the questions. This week our guests in studio are Brian Six and Tim Butterly.
He hate me wants to ask, have you guys almost died? Besides the time you fought a homeless person. I'm going to throw that in.
Oh, man. So I fell between a train and the platform one time.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, this is so fucking embarrassing. How
old?
I was an adult. I had a full-time job.
When did we come up last? Remember before you got there?
All right, so I took the Market Frankfurt line in Philly to work every day for 15 years.
Please tell me what stop it was.
It was Spring Garden.
Oh my God.
It's the last above ground station before it goes underground and through the city.
That is your fatality. You have to die at Berks or Spring Garden. Dude.
Oh yeah, it is actually. It does look like a Street Fighter backdrop because it's like it's at the same height as the highway. So you've got like the city skyline not far behind you. It's kind of windy. There's trash being kicked. Dude, it's a Street Fighter station.
If you fall off, there is lava and spikes.
But you don't die. You
it's
just
the
hit
hypodermic needles. It's the pit with heroin needles.
Dude, Kensington would have hypodermic needles.
Yeah. You burn it a spoon.
How did you fall down it though? Did you just say?
All right,
sorry.
so I hated sitting in the seats because you'd get crowded in with like piss people and everything was disgusting to touch. So I was hang by the door, right? So the door's open, you walk in and there's like two little mini walls on the sides with glass, right? So I would lean against that every day as often as I could. Now the thing is, Spring Garden is the only station where the doors are on the opposite side.
Yep.
So I'm leaning on the doors that aren't opening the whole time. And then we get to Spring Garden and my doors are going to open. So no, I don't. They don't open and I don't fall out of the train, Brian.
Man.
I'm not a moron.
Oh, just Mr. Beamed it right out like.
So I take my step, kind of diagonal to get away from the little corner I'm tucked in. The door's open, but the conductor needs to get into our train. The conductor leaves his train car and goes to get into my car, and like kind of needs me to get out of the way pretty quick, I guess. Right? Unscheduled stop. And so to kind of like, oh, let me get out of your way a little bit, I go to step to the side and I step between the train and the platform.
Oh.
And I drop. Like all my weight goes on my leg and I drop. And
Did you rip your shin?
Dude, it was a ball split. Like it was like a rail grind ball split.
What was it, like 2-3 seconds, 4 seconds?
Dude, because I got stuck.
Did the conductor just move on by, or he saw you?
Did not even recognize that it happened.
Did you have to yell,
just
I'm
like
stuck?
looking around.
Did you have to yell, I'm stuck?
Well, I'm also stopping the door from closing. So it's like,
you're like, no.
Please watch it. Please move. Please.
Dude.
And so
anyone help you up?
I couldn't get no, dude. God, please.
They got
no.
the phones, dude.
If someone would have helped me, I would have got out and ran and jumped in front of the train.
That's the L.
I had to.
That's TikTok gold right there.
I had
Philly,
to. I had to
dude.
put
You
a
get that on
hand.
the L?
I had to put a hand on the train and a hand on the platform and like wonk my leg out. And when I got up, I was severely injured. So I had sheared the top of my thigh muscle all the way up toward my hip.
Yeah,
So there was
I knew you got it.
I think there's like still a dent in my leg.
Oh.
It almost never really healed right.
Is this coming home from work or on the way?
I think this was on the way to work.
So you just
because
were
of the
at
side of the
work.
train.
Still go to work. You're like, shut up, Tom. I don't have the reports.
I think I
Had a morning though.
You know what? I want to say I hope I turned around and went home, but more than likely I probably like limped into my office and was like, "Yeah, dude, I'm pretty fucked up."
Wait, was that when you were working IT in the city?
Yeah.
And I'd see you randomly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah. So
That's. I wish I saw you that day. And you're like, hey, what's up? Like, what the?
What up, motherfuckers?
It's the Real Ass Podcast.
So yeah, I rented a car. I left my keys in Florida.
Oh.
I don't know why. I don't know how it's even possible.
They were my Florida keys.
It's a good joke. It's not Zackle worthy, but the Florida keys is pretty funny. I left my keys in Florida, and now I have to wait for them to send them back. You know how much it costs to replace an Audi key, a key fob? Because I lost my other one. I had two. Lost one. Other one's in Florida.
How much for an Audi key?
Guess how much? Let's guess. What do you think? What do you think would be?
$850.
Wow. Somebody, don't be an asshole. You're ruining the value of my.
I'm going to go $1 in case she's over.
$720, but she ruined the fucking.
Don't ask Jews prices.
Yeah,
don't you understand?
Yeah, I'm
she's
going
like
to try to
$850.
really get it.
That's what she would have charged me.
She's like, I was just looking this up on the way in.
Yeah, for sure. Just rent it for a day.
Replacement prices for
Every
luxury
morning
vehicles.
I wake up and I check prices on random things.
I just want to see if it fluctuates.
It's like Jew training. It's like a Rocky montage. Instead of running in the snow, they're like, all right, today we're going to do windshields. Let's check it out.
Yes, I'm surprised you knew. Am I crazy? I thought that was a wild amount of money.
Not only did she know it, she figured in tax.
$720.
I did.
I thought that was a wild amount of money.
That's a lot for the beep beep.
Yeah, a little beep beep.
Well, you lost both of them.
They're giving me one.
They're charging you for being an idiot. Essentially,
no.
The key's like $200, and they're just like,
it shouldn't even be $200.
If you're,
I bet the key is $50.
I bet you the key cost 80 cents.
Oh, maybe.
80 cents.
Maybe.
What type of technology is in the beep beep key? The out of here. That's crazy.
All right, don't go back to conniption again.
Dog, I'm having a conniption right now over this.
Don't connip over the beep beep.
Dog, the beep beep should literally. If I had to guess, to manufacture that little beep beep, it costs less than $4.
Yeah,
you're probably right.
For sure.
There's nothing to it. Here's the thing with Audi, I've spent a lot of money on my car. And I should say a lot of money, but for me,
it's your third key.
It's just a lot of fucking money for a car. It's a $60,000 car. It's just, I feel like I could buy a $30,000 car and it'll get me there as well, right? So when you're going to a luxury car in a luxury car dealership, I feel like the level of service they should be like, you know what, dude? One key on us. We're gonna do it. We're gonna if you lose your keys, we're gonna replace it at least once because it's a lot of money that you're spending on this car. So I assumed, and the people I was with, they're like, dude, it's Audi, dude. They're just gonna replace it. They're gonna literally drone a key to your house and just drop it into your lap. It's gonna be brand new. That's the type of service they have. Who was I with? Was I with Dylan?
Liars.
I was with Dylan, little Jew bag Dylan from Florida. And he's like, yeah, dude, trust me. I know people of Audis. They're known for their service. And then when I called Audi, they were like, oh, let's put you on with service. And they put me on with a guy who was, borderline. I had no idea what he was saying. He had no idea. I lost my key.
There was an echo on the phone.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
No, you are.
Everything from When Harry Met Sally to SpongeBob SquarePants to Anger from Inside Out. It is fucking Lewis Black. How are you, buddy?
Oh, better every day. Just everything is just really falling into place, isn't it?
Well, I'm sure it is. I'm going to start with this, though. This is a very interesting way to start this. Ready?
Yeah.
My mother loves you, right? And why that's interesting is, let's see if you know who this is. My mom ran upstairs at Green Street. Her name is Leah Sutton. Do you remember her?
Yes, vaguely. Everything is vague.
Because you used to play there when I was a kid.
Yes.
I saw you maybe when I was like a 12. It was cheaper than a fucking babysitter. So I would go see the comics when my mom was running this club upstairs at Green Street. Because I know the first time you were in New York, it was Mario Cantone, Kevin Meaney, and you at Catch. And my mother managed Mario Cantone for years. I've known Mario since I'm 10. I remember this is that back then, so we're talking 35, 40 years ago, maybe it's 40 years ago, right? Almost, right? You used to do, you're synonymous with ranting on topics, but you would rant to the back wall.
Yeah.
And at some point you switched to where you ranted forward.
Yeah.
I don't know where that epiphany came from, but I remember distinctly that You used to like turn to the wall and like yell at the wall. When I was like 12, I remember that.
Yeah, well, I used to do that because I was afraid to yell directly. It didn't seem to be like something a comic. I'd never seen a comic really do that until I saw Kinison eventually. But at that point, I was yelling directly at them. But there was nobody kind of doing that, and generally because I was learning and had no sense of what the fuck I was doing, that I was bellowing, at this audience, but I had no. It was real anger a lot of the times, or it was suppressed anger, both of which are never good for comedy. You can get a little bit of it, and then you got to put your foot off the gas, or they'll turn on you. So, which I learned along the way. So, but when I started to turn around to the audience, as a comic named Dan Ballard, who worked out of Michigan for years. He was there one night with another friend of mine who opened for me, who opened for me for a number of years, and also was a great comic, John Bowman. And Ballard came up to me after he saw me do a set, and he said, "Look," he said, "I don't know what you think you're doing up there." He said, and this is a big, tall guy, bald, huge, 6'4", massive. And he said, "I'm yelling at the audience, and I'm not, and there's nothing in my act that deserved to be yelled. Nothing. You actually are angry. So you get up there, and from the moment you go until the very end, I want you to yell the whole act." And I thought, why not? Everything else wasn't working, so I did, and it worked. And it was like a revelation.
That's wild. That's really cool.
Godfrey. Trust. And what you say is true.
Godfrey. What about, do you have an accent coach?
I had one for a while, but then I got rid of it. Like, I don't need that.
Because it ain't working.
It doesn't work because me so horny. Me so funny.
It's a two life crew, huh? Me so horny.
Me so horny. That's Vietnamese.
It's Vietnamese. Me so horny.
Me so horny's from Vietnam.
No, that's two.
She's the other E's. There's Chinese, Vietnamese, Japanese.
And the Chinese.
Right on.
I'm just trying to be friendly with American people.
And then you decided, I'm going to do comedy.
No, I was always ugly my whole life. I was growing up in China. I was the dumpster baby nobody wanted. I was ugly.
Honestly?
My skin's dark and I have big lips and square face. And they call me cage fighter.
Skin. That's
in
dark
China,
skin.
in East Asia, this is dark.
This is dark skin.
Yeah, in East Asia, they think it's dark, and they call me cage fighter because my face is squared and my lips big. Anyway,
Yeah, that's a lot of people in China. What the fuck are they talking about?
It's just been
a lot of people look like you in China.
We are not pretty. You are funny. You have to be funny to get attention. But I was auditioning for John Singleton's TV series called Rebel, and I was
Rebel, yes.
Vietnamese girl. No, Chinese.
You were supposed to play a Vietnamese or Chinese?
A Chinese girl from San Francisco. She's a sidekick, and but she has to have the Oakland accent.
Oh, hell no.
I auditioned for it, and they want me a lot. They call me back, but then they were like, I forgot the line. I started improvising, and then everybody started laughing so hard. John Singleton just walked across the table with his phone playing Baby Cobra from Ali Wong. He said, "You have to do stand-up comedy. You're going to be a star." I'm like, do I have the role
really?
now?
John Singleton said that.
He's a man who made me do my first open mic.
That's amazing, John Singleton.
I said,
rest in peace, John Singleton.
I said, do I have the role now?
No.
He's like, no.
Yo,
I'm like, why?
He said, go do stand-up.
He
Fuck
said,
your
why?
acting.
He said,
why.
I said, why? He said, I can't change the script for you. You are not going to be convincing to be a girl from San Francisco. But if you do stand-up, you'll be a star.
So, okay.
He got my phone number. I'm like, are you going to hit on me? He never hit on me. He just texts me and be like, do you have your first open mic yet? He texts me every other month, ask me, did you have your first open mic yet?
Wow, John
Talk
Singleton.
to me.
That's
he
amazing.
took me to lunch after I had my first open mic. He asked me to talk about it. He forced me to do it. He sees something in me I don't see.
So
I said, I have an accent. I can't even do acting. He's like, your accent's going to be good for your comedy. Trust me.
So what?
Yeah, but I'm with her. I think it's important that you don't have a speaking blah coach because like when you go on stage and you say you're from China, imagine you would speak perfect American English, you wouldn't be authentic. You're authentic.
That's
and
why people like you is because of your accent.
It's the same with me. Look of my
you both
shit,
have thick
my
accents.
shit German Nazi accent. It's
you both have. You guys are from really fucked up countries.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have my accent.
Have you been to Germany?
You got some like.
No.
Dictator accents.
No, I have German friends.
Why is the word dick and dictator?
Yeah.
I have German friends. They're on time. They're
Listen. Can I see your Oakland accent? What they tried to teach you to do? You remember a line like, "Yo, get the fuck out of here." Man, I don't play none of that shit.
They never told me just to give up. They're like, you do you.
No,
we can't
do your
teach
accent.
you.
Do an Oakland accent. What did they tell you to say like this? Yo, man, where's my money, bitch? I don't know.
They never told me the accent. They just asked me to do my own accent, memorize the line, and do my own
Do
thing.
you remember how you did anything?
I just did a Chinese accent.
Can you do an American accent?
Oh my God. Godfrey's like so hot.
Wow, you still Asian.
Really?
Oh, you said Godfrey's like a so hot. You said Godfrey's like a so hot.
Godfrey's like so hot.
Yeah.
Godfrey's so hot.
No, you were still Chinese.
I am. I can't do a white
I love it.
girl
You say,
accent.
"Oh my God, Godfrey's like a so hot."
So hot.
That's so
like
Chinese.
the girls in your building in the meat packing.
Who's my enemy of the state this week? I think based on the articles, it might be Brett Favre, which is interesting because it's usually just
enemy of the state.
It's usually just like some weird politician, but I said, let's divvy it up. And I gotta be honest, it's so funny because when you're thinking about like dating as a female comedian, I basically, number one pool that you take from comedians. And then the second pool, oddly enough, that you see a lot of female comedians taking from is athletes. And I gotta be honest, unless Dennis Rodman is single right now, he goes on and off. He's been married like 18 times. I am a stan for Dennis Rodman. Other than him, I don't find athletes to be very interesting or appealing, like at all. I don't understand how as a comic you could want to be. It's just not. I mean, like when athletes host SNL, it's always like a fucking snooze fest unless it's a WWE character, what WWE characters, they're athletes, but they're also performers, so that's why they're interesting. Like John Cena, very interesting. The Rock, charismatic, but other than that, I don't really know.
You didn't like the Peyton Manning episode of SNL?
It's not like ringing a bell for me. So that to me is saying, and then there's that also, who's that tall, like, basketball player guy who started doing the roasts a lot with like Nikki Glaser and stuff. Oh, that was annoying because he thought he was a legit stand-up comedian. And I was like, you're funny for a regular person. And that's very different. Baseball zaddy who does charity work.
Oh, Blake Griffin is the guy you were thinking
Blake
of.
Griffin. Yeah, no, I'm not a fan of his. That's not funny. He's not funny. Well, then there's this also, I think he's a head coach now, but he's like this really hot former baseball player who does a lot of charity work. Damn it. Usually when I type in
Don Mattingly?
No, I know who that is. Normally when I type in something like baseball zaddy who does charity work, I actually usually get my answer, but I didn't get it this time. And I'm a little bit upset. I think he might be married, though.
I'm looking up baseball's hottest managers. I've got Gabe Kapler here.
Yes, it's Gabe Kapler.
Nice.
Wow, is that a listicle?
Yeah.
Okay. So Gabe Kapler, real fucking hottie, McHotterson, but I think he has I think he might be married, and I think he does the charity work with his wife. But that was a guy, but that's because he looked beyond sports. I was like, oh, that's cool. He's hot. He has that... He has that Paul Hooper look I go for. I'm just naming names of actual ex-boyfriends. Who cares? Whatever. Everything's meaningless. All right. So I'm going to go into the first article for a girl now that we all got our fix of athletes. What? Did you see something that got you excited?
His father also passed away recently, so you got something to bond over.
You know what, Mike?
Right?
Actually, that was in the article that I read. One of the bonding things that we would talk about, because I realized what an impact it has on one's life and how much easier it is to date someone who's lost a parent or like significant loved one. Fascinating. You get me, no?
Nema Katt makes statements.
She just makes statements.
What was it? What was the shit you tried to come in here and pass off the last time?
I know what you're talking about.
What was it again? Hold on, no. What was it?
A heterosexual lesbian.
Oh, I didn't even think you was gonna remember that. I didn't think you was gonna remember that shit. I didn't think you was gonna remember that shit. He's like, fuck.
Remember that horse shit? I was
know
ready to clip of that
what
horse
you're talking about because
shit.
people never understand. But like a heterosexual lesbian, like now that Neil,
We ain't gotta go back again.
Okay.
No, talk about Neil Long though. We're bringing it to that.
You know, now that she broke up with her man, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody's in her DMs, and I just want to tell take this time out to let Nia know, I have never been with a woman before, but I will not hesitate to, commit something I need to pray about later with you. For you, just to help you out. I know it's a difficult time. I want to pray for you, with you, whatever you want to do.
I want to say this to everybody that's been shooting a shot at Nia Long.
What?
Why would you want a dented Lamborghini like that? Like
how is it dented?
She's hurt right now.
Yes, and that's why we need to suck all the hurt out of Nia. America, now is the time. Suck the hurt out of Nia.
Suck the hurt out of Nia Long.
Hashtag.
That's a campaign. Nia the Cat.
Ain't that your born killers? Legion of Skanks. Welcome to the club.
Don't forget your roots. No.
You're still breaking off your mom's friend Gloria?
Yeah, and everybody's fucking A-list celebrities, and I'm like, oh, so she had no teeth, huh? And you think she's still there, Danny?
I know what you're going
I know you can't tell us if you have, but you can tell us if you definitely have it. Have you fucked a celebrity yet?
Yeah, he has. Yes, of course he has.
Of course. No, I don't fuck
yes,
anybody.
Yes, he has.
Except,
all right, let's try to guess.
Jesus
Oprah
Christ.
Winfrey.
Okay, then damn, you have. Or at least Gail. Was it Gail? Tell me it was Gail. Even some gay stuff with Stedman, I'll accept.
It's gonna be like an old school like Rosie Perez, something he was attracted to when he was a kid.
It's
Queen
like
Elizabeth.
Melissa Villaseñor's mom.
I don't know about him. I say it for myself.
Oh.
Who?
Please.
If I jacked off enough to you, I fucked.
Oh, that's fair. Well, then we've all fucked a lot of I'm sorry, Pam Anderson.
No, I'm not lying. I'm saying, like, real porn bitches. I'll be watching these bitches be like, I couldn't believe I could be in the same room with these type of bitches.
Ari, did you?
What?
I feel like you did, actually.
Yeah,
You
I
just
met her.
said-
I met her coaching horses in L.A.
Who?
Yeah.
Tina Yothers.
Yeah, but I didn't know she was right away. So it was chill.
Jennifer from fucking Family Ties.
Can you bang Jennifer from Family Ties? Pull her up. Who is this? Really? It's a real story.
There's no picture you're going to find that's going to make you go, nice, dude.
For like about a month.
See, y'all niggas, I feel like y'all rubbing me into something. I'm not about to do this.
Yeah, no, the one with the blue. That's who
I'm not about to do this.
No, dude, go up top. Go to the one, no, the left of that. Left of that. Oh, dude. You got her in her fucking bouffant years. Oh, dude.
God. What is
Mallory wasn't even that hot. She just wasn't Jennifer.
I'm out of this conversation. I swear to God. I'm done with it. I'm out of this.
You really hooked
Wait,
up with
you fucked a toothless crack whore and you're mad at me?
That was for
wasn't
money.
a whore. She only sucked his dick.
But that's the dip. I ain't talking about the celebrities I fuck.
All right, fair.
Tim, I want to know who Chase is.
I
Tyra
can't-
Banks,
I
hands
can't
down,
do
for
it.
sure. Start the rumor.
I can't do
haven't
it.
had sex with no celebrities ever.
I think I embarrassed.
I believe you. I don't know, but you smiled afterwards.
No, this is a comedy show.
It's true. It is a comedy show.
I think
Good cover.
Big J. This episode should be called "The Reason Michael Doesn't Do Movies."
Relegated to HBO Max and late night cable.
Yes. I've said this before. Very important to note. Alex, you know what I'm about to say? Peter Moore, Zach Amico, Eskimo Brothers.
Wow. That's a great Eskimo brother.
Can I have to slip this in. You know Ezra Miller?
Yeah.
I'm Eskimo Brothers with Ezra Miller.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Congratulations. That's another crazy one.
Isn't
That's
that
a
wild?
great one.
Yeah.
And you know what, though? That oddly clocks.
Right? It makes sense.
That's not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah. And it happened before I hooked up with this girl. It was like 2018, 2019. And she was like, yeah, me and Ezra Miller used to be a thing. And now he's going crazy. Yeah, that's my
Nice.
guy.
Nice.
Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah, no, that clocks.
Yeah.
It's in Hawaii too. The most lax laws in a state.
What is?
Hawaii, because they're getting busted for all these crimes in Hawaii.
Oh.
But Hawaii is like super lenient on
Yeah,
shit.
they just outlawed cannibalism.
Yeah.
What?
Just
No, I made
outlawed.
that up. It sounds right though, right? Yeah.
It's legal to eat anything in Hawaii as long as you have an apple in its mouth at the time.
And she volunteered that information to you, so she wanted you to know.
Yes.
Like I used to fuck a celebrity.
I have Andre. I think it's Andre Hopkins. He's a wide receiver, and I think he was on.
So is she.
Yes. I had him on my fantasy team when I found out, which was a very interesting. And not that I pay attention to football or fantasy, where sometimes I'll just do it for the camaraderie of like whatever. But I don't know. I think you guys win. Peter Moore, and then Urza Miller.
Well, so I used to ask girls, "Who's the most famous guy you've ever fucked?" Because I was a piece of shit and I was making a collection. So I have Peter Moore. I have Odorous from Guar, the singer from Guar is dead now. And for me, this is a big one. Joey Jordison, the original drummer from Slipknot.
All right.
Whoa, that's huge.
Also, that says that the kind of girl that fucks me is the kind of girl that will fuck a sweaty guy in a mask.
Hell yeah, dude.
No, you can't see that. So, Mike, you're going to Skankfest, and 2 different radio shows are trying to get you laid at Skankfest.
So let me just lay this out for everyone.
Yeah.
So first, the SDR show is paying for some kind of sex worker, to put it politely, to take my virginity at Skankfest.
You are a
virgin.
One sex
That is
worker
not
or
a
several
given.
sex workers will compete for the privilege of taking your virginity?
I'm not sure,
Okay.
but knowing Ralph, it's
Yeah.
he's not going to pay for more than one.
But Mike, legit.
I
mean, he'll look.
Ah, Jesus.
You know, couple nickels equal a dime. That's the Ralph Sutton model when it comes to these things.
I'd rather have a look. I'd rather have a hooker today than a nickel tomorrow. Or what's the saying?
I'm glad you cleaned it up.
I'll gladly fuck you today.
for a cheeseburger tomorrow.
So wait a minute, Mike. You legit a
and then-
virgin, though, yeah?
Yep. And then the other one, I was just informed by Mr. Brian 6 of You Fucked It podcast that Tim Butterly and Mike Rainey of the other Dad Meat podcast
Those dudes are
fame,
good money.
that they are having some kind of dating game to see what kind of Skankfest
Woman.
Yes.
Fan.
Would be willing to get with the blind man.
The kind that says this.
Suck my clit, nigga. There you go.
So I'm torn up, fellas.
So wait,
what do
hold
you
on.
think I should do?
What do you mean? I think you should do both.
Yeah, man.
You should have a Three's Company
Well-
style date. See, Mike, this is where you would play that song.
Yeah. There you go. He's on the level, check.
You know, I'm glad Coolio's not alive to see this.
Yeah. Dad of old age. All right. So
here's the thing.
You just need a buddy, like
Well-
a Larry, to come in, like
Not a
say
Larry.
this.
He
What?
didn't get the bit.
What's going on?
Jesus Christ.
All right, listen. Here's the thing.
And Mr. Furley's gonna come in, and it's gonna be Ralph. And he's gonna be like, "Hey, what are you doing with this I paid for this whore."
So
and he's gonna throw you out of your apartment with 2
God,
chicks.
so fucking old. We're so fucking.
The kind of moral dilemma I'm in here is
Yeah.
I was talking to Brian 6 yesterday about this, and he said I would be a loser if I were to do the SDR show contest before the dad meet thing. He thinks it's the loser way out to lose my virginity to an SDR hooker.
I think it'd be an
Well,
honor,
here's the
actually.
thing: if you're
Those are
doing
usually
if you're
talent.
doing just like a date with the girl from the other show, right?
Mm-hmm.
That girl doesn't have to know. Maybe she's in the live chat right now. Just kick that girl out of the live chat.
Yeah, don't want to ruin the magic that is Mike.
But what
Mike,
would?
what would-
Is it
First of all, I don't.
want to know if you think it's a loser way out. Do you
No.
think? Okay.
No, dude, you get an ass. Who
Even
gives
if
a
it's
fuck?
paid for by someone else that's not me paying for it.
Dog, hello.
That makes it fine. The
What?
fact that Ralph is paying for it makes it fine.
Shit, man.
And also, would you feel like a loser? That's all that matters.
You getting your
No,
nut
I don't
off,
give
son?
a shit. Pussy is not my priority right now, so it's like
it's
wherever
never
I
been
can
because
get
you're a
it.
virgin, dog. Like,
Jesus Christ, Johnny.
well, wait a minute.
What the fuck?
So, Mike, hold on
You're a
second.
guidance counselor during the day.
What do you think I say to the kids? So listen, Mike.
Wait, what?
Hold on a
Wait, did
second.
you ever
He's like,
guidance?
yo, bitch, you're a virgin. That's why you got such a high score in your SATs.
Hell
You're
yeah.
just wedgie
Nerd.
kids in the fucking hallway.
So
What
wait a
the fuck is wrong with you?
It's Yo MMA Rap with Chris J. Gomez and Dave Smith.
So, all right, in other Skankfest news, we've also signed Paco versus Dylan. We're not going to get a whole breakdown on it, though. But, Brian, what do you think about Paco versus Dylan?
I think this is ridiculous.
First of all, I don't think Paco's ever fought anybody or been hit in his life. And Dylan, I mean, from the last couple times I've seen footage of Dylan, he hasn't fought or been hit in his life either. So, I mean, what is this for?
Dylan has been hit in his life. He was hit by Mike Harrington several times.
Yeah, I watched it, but
didn't handle it great.
And also probably Corinne Fisher, to be honest.
Fair enough. But yeah, who's this for? How'd this come to be?
First of all, I am the Sean Shelby of Skankfest Ellis Mania. Okay, and
But you wouldn't let me bare knuckle box Harrington in your backyard.
Well, you're not going to bare knuckle box Harrington. If you want, why don't you step up and fucking fight the winner of Booger Beard Harrington, Brian? Be a man.
Sure.
That's all it took. All right.
Who's it for? It's fun. What do you? Skankfest comes around. Ellis Mania comes around. Who's it for? It's for yourself. You want to test yourself. You want to go in and see if you can fucking stand in the center of a ring with another dude in a safe environment amongst a bunch of screaming crazy fans. It's just a ton of fun. If you're not afraid of being punched in the face, I mean, it's really exhilarating. It's more fun than playing basketball or a game of pickup fucking, I guess that's basketball, football.
You didn't put air quotes up around dude.
It's more fun than basketball or a pickup game of shooty hoops.
or that game, pickup sticks. You remember pickup sticks? You know, with the little sticks.
I'm just wondering how this came to be. Did they just be like, bump into each other in the office one day? Do they have beef? Is there like a backstory?
No, Lewis just said you're both fired unless you fight each other.
I like that.
No, Paco's been training with us, and he was like, "Oh, I kind of want to fight at Skankfest." And I was like, "Why don't you fight Dylan?" He was like, "I would do that." And then I asked Dylan. Dylan was kind of being a little bitch about it, but then I gaslit him. And at the end of the call, he was like, "Yeah, I'll fight." He doesn't even understand how it happened.
Oh, easy day. That's great then.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun, guys. Tune in.
Undisputed UFC middleweight champion of the world.
This is what I always say about Connor. Why not just be happy? Why not be happy that you're doing a movie with Jake Gyllenhaal for your first ever, job, which is fucking awesome. Let's be honest. I was a big fan of Roadhouse. It's cool as fuck. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and say it's not. It's not a competition. I'm living my life. You're living yours. We're not competing against one another. But I don't understand, like anyone, not just Connor, anyone that's just still spiteful. We're all trying to get ahead in life. He's done that. He's smashed it out the park. What is with the animosity? How about have a smile on your face?
I think
How
he's
about that?
isolated. I think he's isolated. I really do. Like he's super successful and he's got everything he could ever ask for, except for what we have, I guess. Like a community. You know what I mean? Like he's kind of isolated because of what he's done, how successful he is, how wealthy he is, how he lives a different life than the rest of us. So I've said this before and he flipped out. Like he's just not one of us anymore. And I think that bothers him. I really do. I think that bothers him.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Because
it's not our fault. That's his fault.
This
you know what I mean?
It's certainly not my fault. It's got nothing to do with me.
Yeah, like sorry, I'm not rich enough to be part of your community, bro.
Well, it's not that. And I'm not talking about Connor now either. I think a lot of people, you know, the level of fame that he reached is astronomical. Do you know what I mean? And it's very, very rare. You know, and you're talking about, you know, big time A-listers. There's a lot of people at that level, but to achieve it is fucking very rare. And I do find, you know, and I know a few people like that. They do get lonely because, you know, they can't go anywhere. They can't trust people, you know. So I don't know if that's the case with him or whatever, you know. But as you say, you know, he doesn't have a community. I mean, he's still got tons of fans. You can't deny that. There's still a lot of people, rightly or wrongly.
I think community and fans are different, though. You know, like for them, I can't imagine how much he gets bothered, and not him just specifically, but people at his level. Because even you and I, when we're going places, you know, we get stopped a bunch. I can't imagine if you're 100 times more recognizable and famous than either one of us. And so I get it but don't fire back at the community you had, you know, like that.
And what got you there in the first place? Not that I'm anything to do with what got him there in the first place, but
whatever.
I'm the part of that MMA community, but he doesn't like me, and that's quite all right because I still fucking sleep well at night. So go fuck yourself, you little shit. You know what I mean? Who am I kidding? Go fuck yourself.
Exactly. There it is.
There it is. Trying to play it all PC and nice, you know.
Hollywood in 2017, and I was about to shoot like an episode of like a web series or something. It was like a high production web series. So like, you know, they'd asked me to get like fake glasses to play some director in the movie, and you know, like on a bigger thing, maybe they'd have them for you, but they're like, hey, can you go to this thing? But I really wanted to get them because, you know, there was some people attached who I wanted to impress and do a good job for. So last minute, I'm like running to, there's an H&M on Hollywood Boulevard. And on Hollywood Boulevard, as you guys know, there's all sorts of these superhero characters, the people who camp out and get money by taking pictures with people, not just superheroes, they dress up all these characters. So
like Times Square.
Like Times Square, yeah. So there was two guys hanging out who were friends. One of them was dressed like Zach Galifianakis in The Hangover with the baby, you know, and he looks a lot like him. The other guy was dressed like, what's the character in Reno 911 who's gay? He's like the gay cop with the short shorts.
I forget. I don't know his name, but I know who you're talking about.
I also know.
Yeah, Dangle. There you go. Lieutenant Dangle.
So he's dressed like that, and his shtick is to like talk shit to people who are like walking past him. And he was kind of like roasting my outfit, you know, and said something to the effect of, sir, we get it that you do yoga, but do you have to wear your shower sandals in public? And like, it was just, I'm like, what? Like, you know, I was like, fuck you, bitch, or something like that. But, you know, or I said something like, I'll fuck you up. Like, but it just wasn't like, oh, great diss, you know, it was just like, ah, you know, and but all I did was I go up to this guy. I felt like he like dinged me and I had to ding him back, you know? So what I did was I walked up to him, looked him in the eye, and kissed him. No, I took his hat off, like his little cowboy hat, and I just like calmly walked a few steps away, and I tossed it. I remember on the steps of like the Jimmy Kimmel studio. Like I remember like a security guard like looking down because I tossed it like maybe 20 feet away. So it's like I inconvenienced this person who I felt like inconvenienced me emotionally, and it was like, all right, I'm ready to let it go. His buddy dressed as Zach Galifianakis in The Hangover. I remember like. It was like I turned around just in time to see him like wrap me, like charge and like wrap me up. And I remember I like shook him off. And I remember I'd been watching Connor Mcgregor fights in the UFC. And like that was like fresh in my head. And I get in this like Connor McGregor like wide like karate stance. Like after like kind of like throwing him off me. And then he does the same thing, like, or at least puts his hands up. And so I'm like, well, I guess we're fighting now. And he came forward to me. And I kind of hit him with like a 1-2, you know, and if I decide to hit somebody, like I'm hitting you as hard as I can. And he like flew backwards because obviously I'm extremely powerful. But he did, and I don't think he was ready maybe to, you know, like I don't think he thought I was going to actually hit him. But his like head, like it cut. And so like it just immediately was like gushing blood everywhere. And I remember my girl, Luana, was like, oh my fucking God, like, what are you doing? You're crazy. Like, it was so mad at me, you know? And I remember like kind of like jokingly like, no, babe, this is for you. And she was like, fuck you, like, you asshole, like, go to the car. I'm going to go this way and you have to run around. And like, I remember kind of like trotting off in my sandals, like with a little more pep in the step. Cause I'm like, okay, I want to be cool, but like at the same time, I actually don't want to be arrested right now, you know? But I remember like looking back, it was like, you know, and look, a cut on your head. It's not like, you need, you know, you can take a little razor and go like that. It's like, oh my God, I'm bleeding everywhere. It's not a sign of like, you know, internal bleeding or something. So I knew he was going to be fine, but Luana was like, he's dead. I'm like, he's not dead, but wait, can we go back and, you know, circle the block in a mustache and glasses and be like, any dead people here? Or I heard there was a fight. But you know,
but you didn't have glasses.
Yeah, yes. Exactly.
What's up, Pockets? You want to get in on this? We're talking about black shit. As a
Come
white
through.
guy,
Yeah. You should come in.
It's about white men saying the N-word.
Nice.
That's the same thing they talk about upstairs.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Oh.
Grab the stand, right?
Yeah. What's up, man?
What's good?
Yeah. Have you ever said the N-word? Never. Yeah, it's good because it's a bad word, right?
I've never said the N-word. I said nigga a lot.
Yeah.
You say it with an A?
You don't know what you're missing, son. It's amazing.
Okay, so I used to say it on stage where I told a story. And Hot Chocolate, this guy that I jerked off with, you're right, I'm gay.
I
I'm
remember.
Gay. I'm gay. I'm so gay. I'm like this guy I jacked off with, but I crushed pussy.
You can't jerk off with a nigga one time?
He called me. He called me the N-word. So like when I would redo the bit, I would say it, and it was in patois where he'd say it.
Let him mercy.
And then And that was it. And most of the time it would fly because everyone knew it was a character saying it.
Yeah.
Once in Toronto, somebody was like, "What?" and like got really offended. And I just stayed in character. I was like, "What's your problem?" And then just kept.
What's your problem? What's the problem?
Who me think I deal with now? Get him out! Get him out! Move or go on! Pon the boat, pon the shore, pon the boat, pon the shore. Go on and leave now! Leave now! I love soca. Say, I love soca. I love soca. Send 5 cent, 10 cent, dollar, send. So they got a.
God damn, Berg knows the hits.
The other thing I wanted to talk about today, which I found really interesting, was a big story that was dominating social media over the last few days, was the rise of the new Italian prime minister. Now, she, of course, has been smeared throughout the entire corporate press of them being like a fascist party, that this is a return to like Mussolini style, Italian fascism. It's very hard. Listen, I'll be completely honest that I'm not an expert in the Brothers of Italy and exactly everything they stand for, but it is very hard to take the corporate press seriously when they call people right-wing fascists, seeing as how that's what they call everyone who's not a progressive. So let's play this clip. We could turn the volume down kind of low, and I'll read the transcript at the bottom because she's speaking in Italian. Why is the family an enemy? Why is the family so frightening? She says there is a single answer to all of these questions. Because it defines us, because it is our identity, because everything that defines us is now an enemy. I can't define myself as an Italian Christian woman mother. No. I must be citizen X, gender X, parent 1, parent 2. I must be a number. Because when I am only a number, when I no longer have an identity or roots, then I will be the perfect slave at the mercy of financial speculators, the perfect consumer. So let's leave it there. That's really what I wanted to play. But I thought there was something really interesting and powerful about her saying that. Now, just to be clear, at least in what she's saying here, she wasn't saying that these values ought to be pushed on everybody. She was saying, why do they need to be attacked? Why is it that they're constantly attacking people's identity as a mother, as a father, as a man, as a woman, as a Christian, as an Italian? You know what I mean? Like, why is it that they're constantly trying to undermine this? And I think there's something really true to what she's saying there. So let's play. Brian, you have I just want to read Nick Gillespie's tweet that he wrote on this. Her invocation of individualism, quote, unique genetic code, is incompatible with her invocation of collective identity, nation, family, gender, and attacks on consumerism. This is incoherent. This is the incoherence of conservatism when faced with libertarian modernity. Now, this is, to me, I go, this is just such a backward way to look at everything. Number one, believing in individualism is not in any way in conflict with identifying as a Christian or an American or being a father or being any of those things. There's nothing in conflict there. You can be an individual with a unique genetic code, as we all are, and also still voluntarily group up, because that's what human beings do. It'd be on the level of like if someone said to you, you're like, oh, I just joined a league, I'm on a basketball team. And I was like, you're on a basketball team? I thought you were a libertarian. You should only play one-on-one basketball. You know what I mean? Like, it makes no sense. It's like, yeah, no, you can go join a team and identify as a group and all of that stuff.
I thought to myself, I either got ripped off or this is my first case.
Well, thank you for being back, Dave. And I asked you to move the skeleton. You stuck to your guns behind you. You said Halloween in quotes. And I was like, what is that? We don't support devil worship on the show, but you refuse to move the skeleton as it has deep meaning for you. Your thoughts?
Well, I was told that devil worshiping was somewhat acceptable on the show, so I wanted to keep at least one piece out. I put everything else away, and I think it's okay for compromise.
it's a compromise. Like, thank you for taking the upside down crosses out.
You're very welcome. They actually are just regular crosses that I hung upside down.
I noticed that about you, but I think you were trying to like make a point with it. It's like the devil. I can't get enough of the devil, and that's just so you.
Yeah.
And it seems odd that you would live in Texas if that's your thought process.
Well, the crosses are cheaper. There's more of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the reasons I moved here. The little guy falls off, but you know you can get them in bulk here. There's a lot of good cross making down here. Mostly the devil worshiping community isn't so much about Satan because he's not really that cool of a guy. We just kind of like stuff that is upside down.
Yeah,
that's all it really is. I like trapeze acts. I like roller coasters, Satan
well, if
shit.
I can't ask you, then I have to put you on the spot. Then what's the difference between your satanic community, where you like everything upside down, and the dyslexic community, who everything gets reversed?
Ours isn't.
How what you're saying?
Well, ours isn't a choice.
Oh,
we're born worshiping that, and dyslexic people choose to be ridiculous.